13 buildings total if you add the admin buildings and all the other outside buildings. So,
That's one school?
Yeah.
5,400. K through 12. Holy cow. Never even heard of that model. That's massive.
Welcome to HECC Live, our podcast today. We are on our final podcast for the conference. As you can see, we still have a lot going on in the vendor exposition hall area. A lot of exhibitors out doing last-minute conversations with our attendees as they're starting to think about packing up and heading home for the weekend. But we're super excited. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around here so you can actually see me as well. But we are super excited because we have a special guest today. We have Rob Harvey with FTW Robotics. They are the company that has provided every one of our attendees that have gone 2 to 3 days here with us with a drone. And that is one of the things that we've seen a lot of excitement. I know that a lot of our attendees are eager to get home because we told them that they could not fly their drone inside of the historic Union Station for safety reasons. But I know they're very excited to get back home and try those things out. I know Rob's team has been here. They've had a cage where our attendees could go and see what it is. They've had sessions where they could put the drone together and see how they could utilize it with their STEM program. Or just in the general classroom as well, especially with our computer science standards that we're really trying to focus in on as well. And so we're very excited, Rob, to have you here and share a little bit about the drone, but also about your company and yourself and what brought you to HECC. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much, both of you. It's a really interesting question. How did we get here today? Because we've been all talking about that throughout the multitude of conversations we're having while we're here. But first off, the thing that blows us away is that our co-founder Daniel was born and raised in Indiana, in Munster, and that has nothing to do with why we're here. One, two. I think I told you this, about 3 years ago, we, as part of our onshoring, we're bringing all of manufacturing and software design and computer design in-house. One of the major components of that kind of pivot is to find a new injection mold plastic manufacturer. We design all the molds, but someone has to squirt the plastic through, right? So everything on copper, yes, I brought those. From the prop guards to the propellers to the body panels to the airframe. I mean, it goes on and on. All of this is made in Noblesville at Metro Plastics. And that's not why we're here. And that has nothing to do with why it's the Daniel connection, our co-founder from Munster, and Metro was not, they were just the best from our perspective. And then how did we get here? Someone told HECC about us, and months and months ago, we got a call. Did our homework before we connected back with HECC, but was blown away, truthfully, about the historical nature of HECC, the massive board and how it's run, but who it is on that board, and then to know, that HECC has this conversation with obviously 800, 900, I don't know how many people are here, but there are at least that. And it's a really, it's a conference that we've never been at anything like this, and we've only been at a couple, but this is a far different vibe. Perhaps it's a different crew. I know there's a lot of technology people here, but like the interest, the intelligence, interest in neurodiversity. That's very important to us. It's just been a wonderful experience for us. And we got here because they said, we hear Hopper's coming. And, we're like, wait, when is it? But nonetheless, the timing works out perfectly. Here we are, highly focused on the 800 so educators that got Hopper. We saw about half of them, maybe a little less than half of the sessions that we talked about. So some of them got an overview, some of them got much more than that. They was actually building and fire jumping the cage we were talking about. But regardless of if you're listening or if you're watching this again, you are one of the recipients. We're not only a high quality technology company, but we're also a high quality service company. Built by feedback, from educators. I mean, the highest levels and all the way down to the hard school, small school, the teacher that has nobody. We've done, we're everywhere. Not everywhere. I didn't mean that. I'm saying we're in all varieties of types of classrooms. And I know there's millions more, but the point is, for anyone that has yet to really interact with us, you can email us, you can call us, you can go through the Build Fly Code portal. We have a low to high touch relationship usually out there with educators. The low touch would be, we'll make up Rob, the ninth grade teacher, and Parker tries to us right. I know everything. I just can buy it. I'm very educated. I go
just get out of my way.
I don't need to call these guys, right? But they wind up calling because it's cool, right? And we want the feedback. And if it's bad feedback, we want that too. But all the way up to very high touch. We come in, we're live sometimes for a large enough cohort, but we have production studios back in our offices in California where we have multiple camera angles. Like when you join a virtual, presentation from our crew, it's definitely not something we've done before. Quality-wise, I would go so far to maybe say, and we've done like 50 at a time, but educators at a time. So we're very grateful to be here, especially for all the things I just mentioned. And we're honored actually that the tool that we've been spending, I would say over 2 years of development time is here. We couldn't think of a better place or a better state to jump into than Indiana, of course.
I know we've been very excited because those that may not kind of know what the process looks like here for our conferences is the board comes together and we just kind of start brainstorming. Like one of the things we were trying to do is look for a tool that's innovative, something that maybe that our attendees have not seen before or used before, and that's. I'm not sure how we connected. That was one of those things. Is we started looking at different tools. But like, I really see the potential here, and in fact, I'm not even sure that all of our attendees know. Like, the drone that they have is like one of the first ones that are out on the streets right now.
To the point that the ones we had were a little bit different than the one that is out here at the conference, right? I mean,
well, at the beginning,
right? So, right.
Yes, there's been a long process of which you're referring to. Towards the end, we do a feedback round.
Right.
We send out a couple of hundred pre-market, not for sale, not that kind of stuff, but we send it to our close, partners or just those that, in this case, HECC was highly interested in what we were doing. So we opened it up to you as well. But that's how we roll.
I do like that feedback model. Like, you're always asking for feedback and how to improve it, how to make it better for classrooms, how to make it better for students.
So, and to go back to what you were saying about Hopper being here now, kind of fresh off the manufacturer table, the history, I think, of how we got here is something I think we should just touch on real quickly, because it matters. I think to the people that are in receipt of Hopper now, especially in these conditions, right? At HECC members, but we're not a new company. We just have been hiding for 5 years. We've been very successful in being able to get to this point. but it was really, really hard for us in 2021. We're in 1,000 plus schools, but when we launched Build Fly Code right at the beginning of 2020, what resulted in that was a hyper interest in, because we were all virtual, had nothing to do with the pandemic. We are always thinking of how to make more efficient the transfer of information, upskilling, whether it's anyone to an educator or educator to a student. So we lucked out. But back then it was like PDFs. Our Build Fly Code portal was like the PDFs behind like a 1, 2, 3 star to get in. But that was also a different drone. That was the Parrot Mamba. If anyone doesn't know what that is, Parrot is one of the second largest drone manufacturers in a long time. Years ago, they developed and released Parrot Mambo, which was totally overbuilt. I mean, it had 209 components on the BOM, the bill of materials. This hopper, it's like infinitely more powerful, got like 50 or something, right? But to their credit, this is we're very proud of this. That technology was great all the way until the global chip shortage happened. So we were ramping up, still being very quiet because the state of Pennsylvania had come in and others, and we were like in this hyper, evolve, Build Fly Code, Build Fly Code. Never thinking you were going to be a reseller forever, but in 2021 April, I remember the exact time. Our lead time went from 3 months to. Sorry.
Yeah.
Which sucked, but I almost said it sucked. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. What was bad, what really broke our hearts, was we had thousands of students, all this stuff, and it wasn't our fault.
Yes.
You know what? That was just like pretty heartbreaking for us. But those that know us and knew us then knew that we were going to scrape as many Mambos there were on Earth. Parrot was like going out there trying to, because we also had a great program that was working during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
It feels so long ago, and it really isn't. But man, anyway, that day we decided to bring everything else. That's it. You know what? We know so much now. We've learned, and we brought engineering, manufacturing, software. All of it. And that was over 2 years ago. The thought and the intention that went into this computer, we built, we designed, we write the software for, 89 compliance, tier 3, all. I mean, they say these compliance, requirements. Where's the camera from? We don't have a camera. We have a lens, which is part of our computer vision technology platform, which also has an infrared sensor, a high quality color sensor for the color spectrum. Here's the infrared spectrum. But we were so thoughtful about not only closing it, meaning it's all ours, our responsibility. It's our software, it's our hardware, it's our app, it's all of it. And all of these, we don't make the chips, of course. We design the board, we design the software, obviously, we arrange the board in a way that works for us. But with the chips, we pick specifically based on quality, company, and country of origin. For no other reason other than the security that we have the responsibility of bringing to our customers and platforms. But if we forgot even one thing, because we already know we potentially, have other ideas, because as I think some of you at least know, and we want everyone to know, this board, as well as Hopper's controller, which is in here, which is also our design, our technology, our software, hardware, our board. I mean, we haven't even programmed these buttons yet, because we didn't want to put something arbitrary and like, that's dumb. No, we're going to wait to see what people want, what makes sense, right? But both of these are updatable via Flash through one of our free apps. So there's so much hardware on here. We're obviously not going to choke everybody with too much at once, but like we're going to go deep here. This has the same capability. So, and then our portal, it's, Jennifer Nichols, our chief programming officer, and her team. I mean, like this is something that we designed to ensure that you never have to buy another piece of drone technology. And by the way, there's something that I want everyone to know. We're going to make sure people are more aware of this. We realize we are a more expensive option. Because by the way, this costs more than what's out there. But we're not only teaching the educators to help the students be very careful with the tool, how to build it, because build like code is build like code disassembly, right? So there's always this, crash, prompt guard, they need to have working, evolving, growing expertise, knowledge in the tool. I love that you guys call it a tool because no one would call this a tool. We call it a tool because it's literally the tool, phase one, that you need to manage to solve the problems the educators are asking you to solve, or we ask you to solve. This is the tool, right? So now we can just consistently upgrade it, and like I was trying to show you before. Right here, if we forgot something, that 4-pin connector right there is our, oh yeah. Or if you're like, we got a weather sensor, we can do this. You know what? We can do it.
That's one of the components I really like about the drone itself is its ability to have a student take it completely down, work on their own drone, and come back up after a repair, whether it's the initial build or after you flew it into a wall or flew it into your friend or into another drone. Just learning those skills to be able to take that apart, identify what the issues are, and replace pieces and move forward.
And then it's the next class, and then the next class, and then a teacher sharing with another teacher. I'm telling you, like, for us, some of the things that I've learned being in the education industry was that there's a lot of, middling going on here, and there's a lot of siphoning money out that should not be going where it's going, in our opinion. I'm not going to get into specifics. That's not the important part. The important part is, to go back to what I was saying, so we have a more expensive product, but we believe it's the last drone technology you'll ever buy. One, because like you're saying, everyone knows, you have to learn how to manage the tool. And we, at a low margin, sell more spare parts and more. Like, it's going to happen, right? But it's the multitude of uses over time, right? Proven not only in the obvious, but I want people to know this because we're not doing advertising or anything like that, but we sold a lot of numbers, right? And this is an important distinction. It shows you the commitment not only to the technology, growing and growing and growing. I'm not going to make a new PCB, but those that bought numbers, even if you bought it in 2020, 2019, and you call up, you're like, what'd you do here? I got to buy a whole new drone? Of course you thought. The early adopters are everything, right? So, you notice the similarity between this and Mambo. It's because they now can hopper up. What that means is anyone that's ever bought a Mambo from us, no matter how many they bought, can hopper them up. And the total cost will be less than what it would cost them to buy that same set brand new. That just shows what we care. And listen, that makes money for us, but it's not about it. You understand? It's like we're not leaving anyone behind. And the technology certainly is going to, be forward enough in the way it advances anything else for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I really like about the tool is the fact that as your program or class grows, so is this product. And
Yes.
so it's as you may be starting at a very basic level of just trying to put it together, and we're going to put it together and we're going to fly it. Then we're going to get more into the coding and learn, like you said, learn some sensors. And as your program grows, you have the capability with this tool and this drone for it to grow as well. And I love the fact that you talked about listening to the customer, or listening to the teacher and saying, hey, this is what we need in our classroom. And I have student tech teams that we run in our school, and I love it because I don't have a curriculum. The kids come in and say, hey, I want to learn about this.
Yeah.
All right. And I tell them, I may not know about this, but we'll learn together. And so they drive that exploratory and their creativity. And so they're going to be able to come back and say, hey, Mr. Vineport, we got this drone. Can we do this? I don't know. Let's ask him.
Yeah, you've been in a lot of classrooms, and you do a wonderful job with those. You know that there's going to be students that really take off with the coding part.
Yes.
There's going to be students that really take off with the flying part, but there's also going to be that student that's like, bring me your broken drones. I will fix them.
Oh,
right.
It's kind of how it is in our company too. We all feel like, of course, but there are certain expertise, obviously, that our team brings, and it's just fun to kind of mimic because you see the team. I mean, I have to tell you, because you're talking about no one's seen the kids yet experience this, and the only way we've seen it, because like you said, we've only shipped these, and a bunch to one of our most earliest, most important partner of ours, and some very important early adopters that bought Hopper. We need to start buying it months ago, but we had the first live experience with them it was Broward County Public Schools, 6th largest district in the state, in the country, but it's in Florida. It's also the largest JROTC high school. I mean, it's massive down there. So they meet together, we do a live thing called Build Fly Code Live. We're just kind of testing it out there. We're going to keep it forward for a while, but can't help ourselves. We like to do experience. And we did one for Broward County. Now, normally we've done Build Fly Code Live in college and university level, arena, what we call auditoriums or full-on basketball courts. It's massive. And we fill the room, but we're always saying to ourselves, it would be so much better if it's tight, right? So that's not true. Not at all. But Broward County, we were in a massive, awesome high school. But we were in a high school gym. And it looked tight, it was awesome. And it was so intense in that room. It wouldn't nearly go live. I'll say quickly what it is. Basically, we telegraph out in advance 5 challenges. And then we bring those 5 challenges live. And then our setup was, that's nothing. We have capture the flag, we have tic-tac-toe, I mean, it's all, it's kind of this, but it's not a one winner, all losers, right? It's a challenge. Educators bring their team. It's this is my gag roll. And it's broken down. It's the software, coder, it's the mechanic, this is the pilot, but we never did a Hopper, and they know what a Hopper is. But we always, when we have an event like that, we always bring those photojournalists, not to publicize this stuff, but to give it to the partner and to just photojournalists get sort of moments, right?
They document it,
but I had to walk out twice because the energy was through the roof. A student would come up, the whole crew would go, sir, can you? I'm like, I just grab it and run outside. Too many people in the room and run outside thinking I'm going to go fix it, and then I sit the bench and then crash the floor, and then I'm right on top of me, what is dying? It was just so. I mean, and it was just scratching the surface, but it was incredible. So we are really excited about not only what happens with our relationship here in the end, but I can promise you that when you see the kids, we've been doing this a long time, it's never fun. I think the vastness of it and the infinite capability of it but also like the community. You know, it's a I don't know, it feels different, but I'm excited you guys see it.
So we've got about 5 minutes left. But I would love for you to be able to show, because I know you want to tell, be able to show them what are our attendees perceiving
Okay, so
this week, and then I'm gonna then you can also then kind of share kind of like I know there's while we have the physical one here, there's a whole portal as well, and I've got that pulled up that we can even show our viewers what that looks like as well.
got it. So for those who don't know what's inside the Hopper kit or Hopper case that you got, it's all of the components that you need. It's a spare part, but all the components you need to build Hopper. Now, there's also, you know, the controller that we designed and created. That's also updatable via Flash. We haven't even programmed these buttons yet because we need you to tell us kind of what you think is best. We don't want to put anything there. You kind of thought we were showing these people. Anyway, but eventually, with all of this stuff, you have the tools you have every tool you need. You have the safety glasses. You have more than enough power. There's 3 batteries with multi-charger. The batteries are quickly charged, 3 at a time if you need them. And the thing that I was going to do is a little trick. Our host here just reminded me of, because we can't fly drones outside the cage, and I'm okay with that. But we can do one thing. I think I mentioned before, and if I'm being redundant, I apologize. But this, let me see. You would think that is a camera, and it's not. It's a lens, right? It's actually a lens that's part of our software and hardware engineering, part of our computer vision technology platform. So there's also infrared, there's also color, and there's a bunch of options here that cover multiple spectrums that this lens will lend itself to. But anyway, for fun, a little hack that our engineers showed me the other day. This is our battery. You know, you can do this, not like it's dangerous. This is the male and female connectors for the battery. So if I just slide them together, you can see that Hopper, this board, is now looking to pair with something. So I'll turn my Wi-Fi on, and I'll look for Hopper underscore right there. There you go. So watch what happens. So now I have just connected to Hopper's Wi-Fi board. No internet here, but the board is now sending this feed live in real time. So we hope this computer. Adding a little suspense. We pull it up. There's the page, and voila! So I don't know how we do this, but I'm literally. Oh, the Wi-Fi is not that great here. I'm sorry, but there you go. But I mean, you know, this is what you can see. You know, this is downward facing, so the camera actually has downward facing capability, but also a bird's eye or 45 degree. But right now, innovation level 1 is real-time transference of video to the ground computer. That's another role, by the way, right? I mean, that's probably my role. No, God, it is! But imagine, when you start playing with the infrared and all these other things, imagine the capabilities. So hopefully that came across cool. I'm not sure what it looked like through 3 different screens, but
I'll be honest, we've not tried this yet, so we'll see if this works. But I'm going to try to share my screen to build like see the portal as well. So bear with us here for a second as I kind of explore this.
It's all right. I'll just explain while you're pulling it up. So every attendee also, besides receiving Hopper, received a lifetime access code for them to access our ever-evolving, can't help ourselves, Build Fly Code portal. So if you can open that up, I see it really small, maybe they can see it larger. There you go. So if you scroll down a little bit, the Build Fly Code portal is broken up into Build Fly Code Basics and the Educator Fly Zone. Right now, this is kind of open for everybody. The idea is it's students, it's educators in here. Clearly, the educator gets it first and goes through it. Any questions or whatnot, we're there for them in every way. But you go click on Build Fly Code Basics, you can't get rid of that. There you go. Open that up. See, we also have this for Mambo. This is Hopper. You can see it's broken down. You slide it down a little further, you'll see Intro, Build Fly Code, Disassemble. Just in the thinking of time here, click on Build, and we'll just open this up because this is ultimately what we need to do for those who didn't go through our program. So if you look, so each page is not only informative, but if you to the bottom right see the one over to your left. All right, that icon. You click on that icon, all of the chapters open up. So go over to like attaching motors to PCB, for example. Slide up. There you go. You can then go through the steps and see exactly what is needed to be done in that particular step. You can either use the right or forward or back arrow. You can skip around if you want. If you have any issues or whatnot, you can call, you can email support, whatever. But the fact is, this is the Build Fly Code, basics, where it's like, let's get you up to speed to manage this tool, to understand the tool, we learn the components, how to all of it, right? And then you can back out of that. Yep.
And how that's all laid out with the step by step with the photos.
Yeah.
It's great. It's classroom ready.
Right. Oh, you keep in mind, PDFs behind a 1, 2, 3 star, you've come along. This is not a new company, right? So I really appreciate you saying that. We put a lot of effort into that based on the feedback, right?
Well,
so
just like your drone, this is growing. Just like
we're the creators, right?
Yes.
But we also understand the issues that I'm in this because I have 5 and 7-year-old daughters, and when I was trying to figure out what I was doing after my previous profession, it wasn't until we were looking at the kindergarten, the local kindergarten for our neighborhood, my wife and I looked at each other, we're like, wait a minute, these are the most important projects. Holy cow, who's teaching them? And we kind of not panicked. It was just the first realization. I said, aha, I know what I would not get ever tired of. And I got 5 and 7 years. I got a long way. This is not. We're building a real company. This is a 50-year company. But we're all inspired to not only, help our own kids, our own families and friends, but honestly, for me, and this is important. I want to leave this with everybody, and for us as a company, leave everyone else's why individually along this area. So when they have a chance to talk about it, but I come from an industry where some of the most culturally prolific icons, came from, forget poor education, like that plus unintended circumstances, right? We know you can probably find, athletes in urban areas. You can get that, but like brains, like what about brains? And you look at these, the neurodiversity segment that we only bring up when we have a chance to talk about it and promote something like this. But like we don't, there's no rule, but we equitably distribute our time to ensure that we can work with all neurodiverse groups. And that's something we've been doing for years. So if anyone out there in Indiana, and I've really talked to a bunch of people about this, is in that camp, whether it's a child of theirs or whatever. And it's not just it's anything. We work with Pennsylvania, we work with a lot of other states and organizations in that space to ensure that we can get to those kids because the efficacy is off the charts. And so just know that about us too.
I know for over time.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we could talk for
I know. I was
like,
like, yeah.
but
Sorry.
if someone that's watching or listening that wasn't able to attend wants to learn more about it, the website is
FTW-robotics.com. We always use the dash as a hyphen, FTW hyphen dash robotics.com. Or, on the website, you get a phone number, you can email us. We are as much a high quality, we think, technology company. We bring that service to.
Rob, I appreciate that you guys are here at the show.
Yeah,
Coming on to the podcast.
We're
Your
grateful.
passion definitely just rains out.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for having us. We are grateful.
Well, and those of you online, we really appreciate you tuning in this week. Like I said, these will be housed on our YouTube channel so that you can share with others or you can watch them at your leisure. If you are unable to come this year to this year's conference, we hope you put it on your calendar for next year at the same time. We'd love to have you and find out exactly where the hopper is in just 12 months from now. I'm eager to see what is in store for us all. So thank you all. And have a great
Keep growing.
Oh, definitely. Have a good day.
Thank you guys, everyone.